Hello, David here at merchantaccounts.ca. Today I'm tackling a topic that is not very well understood. It is, what is Visa and MasterCard arbitration? Stay tuned because we'll dig in 1 second. One complaint from merchants is that they seem to lose chargebacks even when it's unfair. In other words, when the merchant should have won the chargeback. And the reason why this happens, really, the argument anyways, is the card issuer, that's the bank that issued the card to your customer, they have all the decision-making power. When a chargeback happens and then you build your case and you give it to your payment processor, the payment processor can't do anything with it other than give it to the card issuer. Once again, the card issuer makes the decision about who wins this chargeback. And the problem is the card issuer cares about the cardholder. The cardholder is their customer, not the merchant. I mean, it's supposed to be impartial, and it is impartial, but sometimes a lot of merchants certainly seem to feel that it doesn't go their way even when they should have, and that it's an uphill battle to win the chargeback, to the point that some merchants don't even fight chargebacks, which I feel is a real mistake. So what are the steps in the chargeback process? Well, the first thing is the cardholder contacts their issuing bank and they dispute a transaction. Now, in some circumstances, the issuer might send a request for information to the processor to obtain more information about the charge. The request may be passed along to the merchant so that you can respond. If that additional information isn't sufficient to resolve the question, or in the cardholder's mind, the issuer will proceed to the next step and file a chargeback. When that happens, the funds are immediately returned to a dispute reserve, and this comes out of your bank account as the merchant. Now, the payment processor then informs you about the chargeback. You can either accept it and not do anything about it, which would end the process, or you can send your argument back to the payment processor. Once the processor has your argument, they will send it to the issuer. The issuer receives your transaction response and they review the evidence. And if the evidence is sufficiently compelling, they're going to accept the chargeback. Now, if the issuer isn't happy or they aren't convinced, or if the cardholder provides additional evidence to further bolster their case, what's going to happen is you're going to get a second chargeback or a pre-arbitration chargeback. Basically, you're going to lose a second time. And that's when it's done. You're out of luck. So we're going to dig in a little bit further. What happens when you lose a chargeback in a totally unfair way? Well, you can take it to arbitration. And arbitration is where now, so you fought the chargeback out, you've lost, but you have a small window where you can say to your payment processor, no way, we're sending this to the card brands, whether it's Visa or MasterCard, we're sending it to the card brand for formal binding arbitration. The advantages of arbitration: number one, you can win and you can get your money back. And it's arguably a little bit more impartial. It's another swing of the bat, another chance to win. The downsides are that it's quite expensive and the loser pays the arbitration cost. This is totally not worth doing if you have a low dollar value item. So the cost of an arbitration at the time of recording this video anyways is $500. Now, if you sold $50 of whatever it is, are you going to gamble? And you've already paid the chargeback fees, by the way. So, because usually you always have a chargeback fee to your payment processor, $20 or $25 per chargeback or whatever it is. You've already lost that. Now, are you going to gamble $500 to get back that $50? Well, maybe, if you have a really strong case, but I feel arbitration is much more reasonable when you have a very strong case and it's a lot of money and it's worth fighting. Now, I want to be clear about this. Whoever loses the arbitration pays the $500 fee. So is it worth it? Yes, if you win, and not at all if you lose. And so a big part of if it's worth doing or taking a dispute to arbitration is how much money is on the line and how compelling is your case, and is there anything new that you can provide that wasn't provided the first time around, which is very important as well, because the card brands, the card networks want you to feel that there's a reason for this arbitration. In other words, you need to provide more information than was originally provided, or greater clarity, or whatever it is. So in summary, arbitration is a good thing to consider. Definitely in some cases, especially if you have an incredibly compelling case with extremely strong evidence. But my advice would be, don't do it if you don't have a strong case and if it's not a high ticket value, because $500 is a lot of money to lose if you are only selling a $15 or $20 product. So that's the Visa and MasterCard arbitration process at a high level. I hope this demystified it a little bit. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or reach out to us at merchantaccounts.ca. And if you're having problems with chargebacks, you can also come to us. We do free consulting for businesses that are running into chargeback problems to help you improve your process and improve your chances of two things: getting less chargebacks, and when you get them, to win that chargeback. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day there. Bye now.